Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League playthrough. Hope it's lunch break time on a Tuesday. So, if you're on the job and you're having your lunch hour, you can spend it watching some Strat-O-Matic. If not, if you're doing your daily activities, you can listen to Strat-O-Matic. We are at game number 215 on the season replay, another game from May the 12th. Toronto and Kansas City from Exhibition Stadium. Exhibition Stadium's pretty symmetrical. Singles are 1 to 9, lefties and righties. Home runs 1 to 11. Starting pitchers, two left-handers, John Cerutti for the Blue Jays and Bud Black for the Royals. Both these pitchers started the seasons in the bullpen, but now they have moved to the rotation. Cerutti, especially with a -4 hold, is going to have a -5 to try to hold some of the Kansas City running game down. Toronto enters the game 18-11. They're on the heels of Milwaukee and the Yankees, trying to catch them. Kansas City 14-14. They're trying to catch up to those Oakland A's and Chicago White Sox. So, got Strat computer up. I'm not going to score the games I played. I'm just going to have it up for the stats, and then everything else I'll do otherwise. Hello, Trent. Good to see you. So, John Cerutti is going to start things off. He's 1-0. This will be his first start of the season. He's had 8 relief appearances prior. He's got a 2.21 earned run average, 20 in the third inning, 16 hits, 4 walks, and 17 strikeouts are his numbers on the replay. In real world, Cerutti was 11-4 with a 440 earned run average. So he's obviously doing much better in the replay, but it's only been obviously we're still in early May. He's only had a few outings, so nothing to be, can't quite compare apples to apples just yet. All right, Angel Salazar, and now the biggest surprise is Angel Salazar is leading the Royals. Hello, Grapes. Angels Salazar is leading the Royals in hitting in the replay. He's hitting 304, 24 out of 79, 2 homers and 9 driven in. In the replay, in real world, he had 205, so he's definitely above his skis, no question about it. And again, old school, no dice tower, just the dice in my hand and the cards and whatnot. Maybe next May, because obviously May is coming on. So I don't know. And I have to figure out what game to use it for. Do I use it for Strat-O-Matic? Do I use it for inside pitch? History Maker. I mean, there's all kinds of games. Those are probably the only 2 or 3 games I have that many teams for. Otherwise, I don't have enough teams to do it. But, never say never, as they say. All right, here we go. First pitch. That's a 5-3. And Salazar is a right-hander, so 5-3 is a fly ball, right field X. So right away we got an X chance. But it's Jesse Barfield. He's one of the best right fielders in baseball in 1987. He's a 1, so we know he doesn't have to get to it. Or he's going to get to it. Doesn't matter anything else. He's an E3. It's the only way he makes an error, 3, 15, and 18. That's the only chance he's got to make an error. And he's not going to make the error. So Jesse Barfield puts that away. And Salazar is retired for out number 1. Hello, Midlife. Good to see you. Kevin Seitzer playing left field in this game. That's his 3rd position, but I believe this is his first game in left field of the season. Seitzer on the replay hitting 252, 4 homers, 15 driven in. He hit 323 real world, so he's a little bit off on his totals. But again, long way to go. 6'6", he's a right-hander, and that's a 1 for a home run, but anything else he flies to left. Of course, that's a 16, so he will fly to left field, and right there waiting for it is the left fielder, George Bell. So 2 down, and that'll bring up Juan Beniquez. Beniquez playing in right field in this game. Beniquez hitting 260, 2 homers, 14 driven in. He hit 251 real world, so he's pretty much right on pace. We get a 2-2 against the left-hander. 2-2 against the left-hander is a fly to center. And that's going to be it. 3 fly ball outs, 1 to each outfielder. And the Royals go rather meekly here in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Kansas City nothing, and the Blue Jays coming to bat. And Bud Painted Black will be on the mound. He has a 0 hold rating. On the replay, Black, this will be his 2nd start. He's had 9 appearances. Be appearance number 10, start number 2. He's 1-2, but his ERA is 1.71, which does lead the team. And he has a save. 21 innings pitched, 13 hits, 5 walks, 14 strikeouts. And he'll be facing the leadoff man for the Jays, one Tony Fernandez at shortstop. Fernandez is second on the team in hitting with a 371 average. No homers, 6 driven in. He hit 322 real world. So he's definitely got it going early for the Jays. Switch hitter will bat right-handed, 5-2, and that is a strikeout for Bud Black. Bud Black puts the K on Fernandez, and there's one away. And that will send up Kelly Gruber, third baseman. Hello, Kenyon. All right, so Kelly Gruber hitting 340 on the replay, 3 homers, 9 driven in. He hit 235 real world, so he's definitely in the early going. But he's only had 53 at bats, and in real world he had 341, so obviously a long way to go. 3-4 against the left-hander. That's a park single check. First one of the game. It's a 1-9, but that's a 17, so it's a pop out to third base. And Gruber is out of there. 2 down for first baseman Willie Upshaw. Oh, they're coming, Kenyon. I'm just trying to figure out. I got a suggestion to do them every Sunday night. I don't know if that's too far apart or not, but maybe turn into a Sunday night tradition, maybe, because I played it 2 times I've done them have been on Sunday night, so maybe I'll do them every Sunday night. I don't know. Hey, Joel. We'll see what the schedule brings. All right, so Upshaw on the replay is one of the Jays that is struggling. He's only hitting a .198, no homers, 7 driven in, and in real world he had 244. So he just hasn't gotten it going all season for whatever reason. 5-8 for the left-hander against the left-hander is a pop out to first base. Right there to get it is bye-bye Balboni. And speaking of bye-bye, the Blue Jays go bye-bye, 3 up and 3 down as well. So both pitchers have a very easy first inning. And hopefully this is a better pitched game than what we had last time with Seattle and Boston, which was a fiasco of terrible pitching and terrible fielding. So hopefully they can turn things around in this game. I don't care who wins. I just want it to be a close game, and I prefer when it's more of a pitching duel. That's just me personally. If you like the slugfest, go for it. All right, here's Danny Tartable. Tartable on the replay is hitting 278, 8 homers, 17 driven in. He hit 309 real world. That's a 6-12, and against a right-hander for Cerutti, that will be a ground ball right back to Cerutti for 1 away. And in the old school strat, that would be an injury check because it's the when you're facing a DH and you roll a 6-12, that's when you check for errors on the pitcher. So that would have been an injury check on Cerutti had we been doing that way. But I'm not doing that. So, all right. Hello, Jimmy Jam. Good to see you. Well, the computer does it for me, Grapes. I have the Strat computer, and it does it for me. So I've got the Strat computer pulled up. I'm looking right at their stats as they come to bat. All right, here's Frank White, second baseman, and White on the replay hitting 236, 3 homers, 9 driven in. It's a 111, and that's a pop out to third base. So Gruber is there to handle it, 2 down, and that's going to bring up bye-bye Balboni. He's hitting a .149, 5 homers and 8 runs batted in. He has struck out 26 times and 87 at bats. He's gone bye-bye quite a bit, 6-8. That's a ground ball. Shortstop X, we're looking at Fernandez. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're just checking for the E17 for a shortstop, E17. So we come over here to shortstop, E17, 15, 16, and 17. That's what he's got to avoid. And he does. So good play for Fernandez. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for John Cerutti. So neither team has put a base runner on yet. Go to the bottom of the second. And it'll be George Taco Bell leading things off for the Jays. Hello, Roger. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying your Tuesday afternoon wherever you are, whether you're on lunch break or off or riding around in the car on your job or whatever the case may be. I used to be a driver, so I know I used to listen to games like this when I was driving around, and I always enjoyed listening, even if I couldn't watch. Here's George Bell, and Bell is hitting 250 even. He is 28 out of 112, 9 homers, 26 driven in. 3-4, and that's a ground ball right back to Bud Black. One away. So not only has Toronto not gotten a hit, they haven't hit the ball out of the infield yet. Here comes Jesse Barfield. He does lead the league in home runs with 12, or he's right there right at the top, I should say, with 12. He is hitting, otherwise, he is hitting 304, 12 homers, 32 driven in. It's a 3-7, and that's a walk. So the first base runner in the game is a Jesse Barfield walk. Barfield not going to be held or go anywhere. One down. Cool deal, Roger. I'm retired in Virginia. All right, so Cecil Fielder, who is leading the league, not the league, but the team in hitting, but he's only had 40 at-bats. But he's made the most of those 40 at-bats. He's 15 out of 40 for a 375 average, 3 doubles and 8 home runs, 17 driven in. So out of his 15 hits, 11 have been extra bases. That's a 4-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. So we're looking at the shortstop Salazar. He's a 2E16. 2-17, it might be a double play. 2-17 is a G1. And at shortstop, he's an E16, and we have a 13. So E16 and a 13, there's a 14 there, but not a 13. So that's going to be a double play, 6-4-3. Just what the doctor ordered to end the inning. They still haven't got the ball out of the infield yet. Have the Blue Jays. Got a base runner, but nobody out, no hits and nobody out of the infield. So at the end of 2, we got no score from Exhibition Stadium. It'll be 2 years before they get into the Sky Dome. So leading off for the Royals will be Bo Jackson. Jackson on the replay is hitting 252, 2 homers, and 10 driven in. Looking for the first hit for the Royals. 6-12 again. It's that ground ball back to Cerutti. Easy play, 1 away. Here's Bill Pacoda, third baseman. He's filling in. Yes, it is, in fact, on that date. Yes, 1965 on that date. Absolutely. Roger. All right, so Bill Pacoda is hitting 235, no homers, a run driven in. He's been playing a lot due to the injury of George Brett. 2-9, and that's a walk. So we finally got a base runner for Kansas City. It's a 1-out walk to Pacoda. Now, he is a threat to steal. They will have to hold him on. So he's going to try for the lead. Needs a 4. He got the 4. How about that? So he's going to be a 20. Now, we'll be a -5 here. So that's going to knock him down to a 15 plus the 2 for being held as a 13. So 1-13, he's going to steal it. And he's out. Got caught stealing. So how about that, boy? That hold rating to Pacoda and the arm of DeWillis come into play big time right there. And Pacoda is out as Orge puts on the tag. So 2 down. Bases are now clear. Oh, he does. I didn't know that. Oh, Trent, for Strat, I prefer the old. I'm in a mood now. It'll probably change, but I'm in a mood right now where I'm old school. And I want to go back to old school because Strat-O-Matic to me is very nostalgic. Now, the dice tray bottom is right here. I use that as a block on my when I roll on the score pad. When you hear that clinking sound, it's blocking off the bottom of the dice tray so it doesn't go off the table or out of view. But it's there. All right, here's Larry Owen, the catcher, hitting a $120, a homer and 3 driven in. Real world, he hit $189, so obviously not a very good hitter anyway. And a 6-9 against a right-hander. That's a ballpark blast. 1-11. He has a normal power, and that's a 2. How about that? Larry Owen. Talk about how bad Larry Owen had been doing, but there he is, his first home run of the season for Larry Owen. He had 5 of them in 164 at-bats. He gets his first one right here. Home run, Larry Owen. First of the season for Larry Owen. And that's RBI number 2. It's only a second RBI. Look at it again, 6-12. I'm sorry, 6-1 to 11, and that's a 2, and he has normal power against left-handed pitching. So there you go. Larry Owen puts the Royals on the board. Here's Angel Salazar. Now I can minimize this out of the way. Angel Salazar, 5'7", and that's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Garth Clockwork Orge. He has a 4.E13. Oop, that's a 19. It rolled off the table, but it is a 19, so he does get to it. E13, second base. E13, second base. He's got to avoid 14, 3, and 18. That's a 10, so he's good play for Garth Orge as he makes the play. And that'll end the inning. But the home run from Larry Owen puts the Royals on the board. Had Pacoda State put it would be 2-0, but he didn't. So instead, it's only 1-0. Kansas City has the lead. Due up for Toronto is Rob A.C. Ducey. Even though the lefty's on the mound, they had Ducey in the lineup. I'm not sure why, but maybe they just had other injuries or something, or giving guys the day off. I don't know. Ducey on the replay. Let's get his numbers on there. He's only a part-time player. Ducey is hitting 273, three hits and 11 at-bats. No homers and a run driven in. He only had 48 at-bats all season. Hit 188. Lefty on lefty, 6'11". That's a ballpark blast. He does have normal power against lefties, but that's an 18, so it will simply be a fly ball to right field. And Ducey flies out. 1 down for Garth Orge. Orge on the replay is hitting 161. No homers, 7 driven in. That's a 4-6 to the right-hander, and that's a base on balls. So that is the second base on balls issued by Bud Black. Orge no threat to run. He will hold. And here is DeWillis. DeWillis on the replay hitting 053. He's 1 for 19. No homers and a run, and no runs driven in. Oh, I'm sorry, he has 1 run. No, he has no runs driven in. My bad. 1 walk and 12 strikeouts. In the season, he had 2 walks and 12 strikeouts. And 25 at bats, he had a $120. So he's got 6 more at bats coming theoretically. So he's going to need to get a couple of hits to raise that average. That is a 2-4, and that's a strikeout plus injury. So that's not good. DeWillis is going to probably be out of here 1-4. He's going to be 1-4 and stay in the game. Anything higher than 4, he's out. That's a 2. He can shrug it off and stays in the game. DeWillis shrugs it off. So here is Tony Fernandez. That is a 2-11 to the left against the left-hander. That's a pop up to third base. Gruber's got it. I'm sorry, not Gruber, but Pacoda's got it, and the inning's over. So the walk does not come back to hurt Bud Black at all. At the end of 3, it's 1-0 Royals. Sin, that's the first game I ever played with Status Pro. I had an old Status Pro set I got at KB Toys in 1980. I think it was 84 or 85. I'm thinking it was 85 because I think it had the 84 Tigers and Padres and Cubs and all that. I think it was 84 season that had it in there. I since lost that game. I've gone back and bought it off eBay later on, but I wish I still had the original game, but I didn't. But yeah, I have played it, and you will see it again on this channel. That'll be one of the games I pull out on Fun Day Friday, where I pull out games I haven't played in a long time and showcase them. That, in fact, just spoiler alert, that will be the game for this Friday, Status Pro. So be on the lookout for it. But it will be old school Status Pro. It will not be this new Status Pro, advanced Status Pro, Dice Status Pro, none of that stuff. This is the original old school stuff with the fast action cards, and that's it. So that's what I will have. That will be the game for this Friday, for Fun Day Friday. Just give out a spoiler alert. And I will pick a game from July 18th to play from some season. All right, so here is Kevin Seitzer. 4-7, and that is a 1-4 double. 12 is going to be too high. It's a fly ball to right field, and Barfield puts it away, 1 down. So 1 away for Juan Beniquez. That's a 5-5, and that's a line out to third. And right there to snag it is Mr. Gruber. 2 down. I can't see Kelly Gruber's name without thinking of Hans Gruber from those Bruce Willis Die Hard movies. That's the first guy I think of. He later became famous as Dr. Snape or whatever on Harry Potter. But anyway, here's Derry. That's the sidebar. Danny Tartable, 310 against the lefty is a walk. I think his name was Alan Rickman or something like that. That's what I want to say his name was. All right, so Tartable's on, and here's Frank White. That's a 111, and that's a pop out to third, and Gruber will get it again to end the inning. So that's going to do it for the Royals. We go to the bottom of the fourth, still 1-0 KC. Cerutti and Black both have fatigues of 5 innings, so they're good for a couple more innings. And speaking of Gruber, there he is to lead off the inning. That's a 111, and that's a 1-2 home run. Anything else is a triple. That's a 5. It'll be a leadoff triple for Kelly Gruber. Gruber had 3 triples in real world, and that's the first triple of the season for Gruber. So he had 3 triples in the real world in real season in 341 at bats, and this is his first one, and it comes in at bat 55. All right, so here is Upshaw. Infield is gonna, boy, they want to prevent the big inning, so they'll play back. 1-4 lefty. That's a ground ball to second. That will score the run with the infield back, but you couldn't take a chance if you roll that plus. I mean, up here, 1-4 is a walk. What am I doing? I read that as 2-4. Bad. Let me get my correction tape. But I read that as 2-4, and I should have read it as 1-4. 1-4 was a walk. So let me fix all this. Misread that. So let's recreate the inning here. Gruber with the leadoff triple, and then a walk to Upshaw, because the 1-4 is in fact a walk there. All right, now Upshaw has a chance to get the lead. Bud Black is a 0 on his hold, +1 for the hold and -1 from Owen. Upshaw needs a 3 through 7 to get the lead, but he gets thrown out on a 9 or a 10. That's a 5. He gets the lead, so he's going to go. He's a 15, but he holds a 13. So 1-13, he steals it. And he does. So he steals second base, takes away the double play. So now Upshaw's at second. Runners at second and third. Nobody out for George Bell. And all of a sudden now the Royals will bring the infield in. 5-2, and that's a strikeout, a big one for Bud Black. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. That's the 3rd strikeout for Black. Here's Barfield. Infield still in. 1-8 against the lefty. It doesn't matter where they are. 1-6 is a triple. 7-20 is a double. The second triple of the inning. This one belongs to Jesse Barfield on the 1-8. A 1-6 is a triple, and that's a 3. So it's a 2-run triple for Jesse Barfield, and that will score both runs. That will score both runs to give the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead. And for Barfield, those are RBIs 33 and 34 based on that triple, 2-run triple. And here comes Cecil Fielder. Infield still in with only 1 out. That's a 2-3 against the left-hander. That's a ground ball to shortstop A, but with the infield in, the runner has to hold. So that's 2 down. And Rob Ducey, your batter. Infield back to normal, obviously. That's a 6-6. Lefty to lefty is a line out to second base. Frank White snags it to end the inning. But the Blue Jays take a 2-1 lead thanks to the 2-run triple off the bat of Jesse Barfield. Jays lead it 2-1 as we go to the 5th, and this is the fatigue inning for both starters coming up right here. It'll be bye-bye Balboni, Bo Jackson, and Bill Pecota due up for the Royals. That is a 6-4, and that's a catcher X. So we're looking at DeWillis. He's a 4 E16 So not very good. Got a good arm, but not anything else. 4E16. 4 catcher. He needs a big number on the D20. Got an 8. That's a P/P, but with nobody on base, it may not hurt him. And this is a 9, and he is an E16. There is no 9. He escapes the 9. 16 is the worst you can have, but there is no 9 here. So it's just a P/P. And with the bases empty on a P/P, it's a pop-up, and that's going to be the first out of the inning. So Balboni pops it up to DeWillis for 1 away. And here's Bo Knows. 1-7, and he struck him out. For Cerutti, that's his first strikeout. Took him 5 innings to get it, but he gets the first strikeout, and it's Bo Jackson. Here's Pacoda. 1-5, and that's a ground ball to short. Tony Fernandez handles it, so Cerutti will keep full endurance into the 6th as he gave up nothing. And we go to the bottom of the 5th, still 2-1 Toronto. Garth Orge will lead things off. 1-8 for Orge against the lefty is a ground ball to 3rd. And Pacoda handles it, 1 away. And here's Jeff DeWillis, the catcher. 6-4, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-9, that's a 3. So DeWillis gets himself a base hit. Of course, will not be held, but he gets a base hit nonetheless. Here's Tony Fernandez. It's a 3-7 for Fernandez against the lefty, and that's a ground ball. It's a fly ball to center field for out number 2. 3-8 would have been a double play, but not 3-7. So there's 2 down for Kelly Gruber. There's that man Gruber again. 3-8, and that's going to be a 1-4 single. 20 is going to be a line out to short. And that's going to end the inning. So we go 6th. Both pitchers will still keep most of their freshness, if not all of it, as we go to the 6th inning in this 2-1 ball game. Here's Larry Owen, catcher. Larry Owen, homered, first time up. 1-10, and boy, he missed another chance at a homer there, but that's just a fly to center. Of course, it would have been an out because the 15 was higher than the 11, but he's getting good wood on the ball, that's for sure. It's a deep drive to center, 1 away for Angel Salazar. He's 0 for 2. 6-8, right-handed. That's a ground ball shortstop X, Tony Fernandez. We know he's going to get to it with a 1. We're just looking at the shortstop. I believe he's an E17. So shortstop once again, 15, 16, and 17. And that is a 15. I'm sorry, it's a 13, so he's going to be able to make the play okay. A little shaky, but made it. My dice reading was shaky, too. I'm used to the numbers. I got to get used to not having the numbers. I got to count the dots now. But Salazar grounds out to Fernandez. I did go to public school, so I can count my dots, no problem. Fine public schools that we have. All right, here is Seitzer. 5-7, and that's going to be a ground ball second base X. So now we're looking at Orge. That's a little more problematic. He's a 4. 4 and an 8 is questionable. 4 and an 8, though, is a G3. He'll get to it. But the E13, and that is a 14. E13 is a 14 sitting right smack dab in the middle of the page. That's a 1-base error on Garth Orge. 2-out error on Orge. Keeps the inning going for Seitzer, and he's going to try to steal, or try to get the lead, rather. 5 or a 6 gets him the lead. Yes, Roger, it does all that for you. Yes, it does all the heavy lifting. Absolutely. And I can enter it manually as I play if I want to. You don't have to. There's got a. You can play against the computer. You can roll your own dice, whatever you want to do. There's multiple options on how you play that. And of course, it has all the players, which helps too. So ones that aren't carded are on the computer. All right, here is Seitzer. Oh, I didn't roll all the dice. I left the white die out. Let's re-roll that. Might help. All right, 4-11. Cerutti 411 is a fly ball left field X. So we're looking at George Bell. He's a 2E13. 2 and 11, he'll get to that. E13 is the question. So we come over here looking for an E13. And we're trying, that's a total of 7. E13, there's a 6 there, but no 7. So it's good play for Mr. George Bell. And Seitzer is retired. So it's still 2-1 ball game. It has if you set it, you can set it up for daily transactions to play as played, and it'll come up for you every single game. I use that, and I use Retro Sheet. I use several different sources just to double check. But yeah, by default, it does. You can set it up to do it that way. You can set it up to only show the cards, so you can take all the carded players and play it as you wish. There's multiple ways you can do it, but if you want a strict as played, it certainly has that capability. When you download the season, it asks you, do you want to do it as played rosters or full rosters, or however you want to do it. So it does have the thing there. All right, here's Willie Upshaw. That's a 5-6 left-handed, and that's a pop-up to short. Salazar makes the play. 1 down. Upshaw continues to struggle. Here's George Bell. He's 0 for 2. It's a 5-10, and that's a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Beniquez. He's a 3E6. 3 and a 1. That's going to drop for a base hit, probably a double. 3 and a 1 is a double. So we know Bell's going to have himself a double. The question is it an error? That's an 8, and he is an E6. E6. There's no 8, so there's no error, but it will be a double for George Bell. 1 out double for George Bell, and that brings up Barfield. 1-3 against the lefty is a fly to center field, 2 down. And that brings up Cecil Fielder. 3-9, and that's a walk to Fielder. But actually, no, before that happened, that was a 1 on the D20, so that takes that away because the 1, we're checking for wild pitches on Black. His wild pitch rating is a 9. So that's going to be a wild pitch. So wild pitch sends the runners to third. So now runner is at third with 2 outs for Cecil Fielder. That's a 6-6, and that's a fly ball to right to end the inning. So Bud Black pitches out of it, and after 6, it's still 2-1. Nice, tidy 2-1 ball game. And Cerutti will stay out there. He'll be facing Beniquez, Tartable, and White. Toronto's been having some trouble with their bullpen lately, so they might try to go with Cerutti as long as they can. This technically is the longest I like to have him go is 2 innings past that number. So 7th inning is going to probably be Cerutti's last, regardless. 4-5 as a ground ball to second, and Orge makes the play. 1 down. Here's Danny Tartable. 5-5. That's a line out to third, and handled over there by Gruber. 2 down for Frank White. So Cerutti, a machine out there. 3-10, and that's 3-11 would have been a straight up home run, but 3-10 is a fly to right. So Cerutti was living right on that one as he takes care of the Royals in pretty short order. Bud Black's going to go out there for his probable last inning as well. Look at the Toronto bullpen. This is who they have available to be using. They have 4 pitchers, 1 lefty, Jeff Musselman. Then they have Mark Eichhorn, Jose Nunez, and their closer, Tom Hinkie. That's who's available. So it looks like Mark Eichhorn is loosing in the Blue Jay bullpen, and he would be coming in to pitch in the top of the 8th. So Cerutti's going to go 7 innings. He's going to give up 1 run, which was the home run. How many hits is that the only hit? I think that's the only hit he gave up was the home run. That's the only, he only allowed 1 hit. He'd have a no-hitter without that home run. Wow, Larry Owen ruined the no-hitter. Huh? All right, 2 walks, and it looks like just the 1 strikeout. Kept the ball in play most of the time. So Mark Eichhorn will be the new pitcher in the 8th inning for the Blue Jays. Bud Black is going to try to keep it going here for one more inning in the 7th. Tapioca pudding day. I did not notice that. I don't think I've ever had tapioca pudding, so I don't know anything about that. But they have a day for everything, pretty much. If you look up fast enough, everybody's got their month or their day or whatever. But I don't know what day it is, but I know what time it is. It is the 7th inning stretch, and it's time for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. All right, 7th inning stretch is in the books. Midlife, I got those from, I'd have to go into my email and get his exact name, but it was a gentleman that was kind enough to send those to me. I can't create something like that. He has a special way on his computer to create these. He actually sent me the program to do it, but it looked like Chinese, so I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, I want to say his name is Joel Anderson, but don't quote me on it. I believe his name is Joel Anderson that sent those cards to me in the mail, which I'm definitely appreciative because they look a whole lot better than what I could print out. But yeah, that's who did that. I don't know, how he gets his sources or whatever, but I was very appreciative of it for sure. Coming up on the channel in this replay, next two games on the replay, game number 216 will be in Milwaukee. It'll be a good one. It'll be the Oakland A's and the Milwaukee Brewers, the two first-place teams, battling it out for first place. It'll be Dave Stewart against Mike Birkbeck. And game 217 will be from Tiger Stadium. It'll be it'll be the Tigers and the California Angels. Not a good matchup for the Angels. Urbano Lugo on the mound for them and Dan Petrie on the mound, the Tigers. Those are the next two games in the Strat-O-Matic replay. And then the final game for May 12th will be Texas and Cleveland, and that will finish out the May 12th schedule. So that's what's coming up. I don't know Midlife. I know he's. I haven't seen him in on the videos here lately, but he used to comment quite a lot. But I know he. I don't know if he's on Facebook group or not. I really don't know. I just know his name is Joel Anderson. I don't know his particulars. So anyway, here is Rob Ducey, 5'4", and that is a catcher X. Catcher is Larry Owen. He's a 3E5. 3 and a 12 for a catcher. 3 and a 12 for a catcher is a P/F, but nobody's on base. That's a 9, and he is an E5. E5, there's no 9. So P/F is definitely just a foul out. So Ducey will foul out to Owen, one away. With nobody on base, you don't even have to worry about those kind of P/F's, however you pronounce that. However, whatever grammatically correct version of the plural form of that is. PFs, I guess. I don't know. P/F's. You can get tongue twisted on that. Here's Garth Orge, 4'7", and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That is Salazar. Boy, a lot of X checks in this game. 2E16 for Salazar. 2 and a 17, he'll get to it. E16, and that is a total of 14. E16 and E13. No, E16 and a 14. And right there in the middle is a 14, 16 to 14. That's going to be an error on Benitez. And let's see, did he make an error earlier? No, that was on up here. Okay, so error on Benitez. First error for the Royals. Each team with an error now. Not Benitez, but Salazar. So each team commits an error. And here's Jeff DeWillis. That's a 1-6 against the lefty, and he's going to pop it up to short. 2 down for Tony Fernandez. Fernandez had been a hot hitter, but he's 0 for 3 in this game. 2-12, and that's a line out to third. Snagged by Pacoda to end the inning. So both pitchers are going to go 7 strong. That's it for Bud Black and Cerutti both. So Bud Black's going to go 7 innings, give up 2 runs. They were earned. Let's check his walks and hits and all that stuff. Hits allowed. Was he walked quite a few? 1, 2, 3. I just walked 3. Looked like he walked more than that. He only walked 3. But he only struck out 3. And his hits, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 4 hits. So again, a very fine outing. And for the Royals, if you look in their bullpen, this is who they have available. They have 1 left-hander, Jerry Don Gleaton, and 3 right-handers, Dave Gumpert, Dan Quisenberry, and Steve Farr. So we'll figure out who they might want to go to. I'll look at the stats and see maybe who needs to work. Hello, Colin. Bring up their stats and see if there's one pitcher that's. I don't want to overuse guys. That's the one thing I don't want to do is start overusing guys. Well, I can tell you, Mark Eichhorn. I might not should have used him, but he was like rubber armed anyway, I guess. This will be his 16th game, which does lead the team. He's 0-0 with 1 save and a 295 earned run average. Is Mr. Eichhorn. 21 in the 3rd innings pitched, 19 hits, 9 walks, and 16 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Bye-Bye Balboni, Bo Jackson, and Bill Pacoda, due up for the Royals here in the 8th of a 2-1 ball game. At a 1-9 against a righty, that's a walk. So Balboni will draw the leadoff walk. He is now the tying run. Question is, do they pinch run for Balboni? Let's look at who the Royals have on the bench. They could pinch run with Willie Wilson if they wanted to. The rest of the guys don't have much speed. Jamie Quirk, Thad Bosley, George Orta, Buddy Biancalana, and Hal McRae. Those are the guys on the bench. Willie Wilson could be brought in as a pinch runner. And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring in Willie Wilson. Willie Wilson will pinch run. Oh, wait a minute. That should not have been. That should have been Bo Jackson's at bat. My bad. I did not move Balboni. So let's see. What would 1-9 have been? It was a walk on Bo Jackson anyway, so we're not going to pinch run for Bo Jackson, obviously. But I just noticed that Balboni made the last out of the previous inning. And when I got ready for the 7th inning stretch, I just forgot to put him at the bottom of the stack. It was actually Bo Jackson's at bat. And he walked on a 1-9 just like Balboni did. So we're going to keep the original what we have. All right, so Bo Jackson now, to get the lead, needs a 6 or a 7. Mark Eichhorn is a +9 hold rating. So obviously, if you can get the lead on him, you've got a good chance to steal a base. That's an 8. He does not get the lead. Now, he still could try to go without the lead. It'd be a 12. And then being held would be a -4, make him an 8. And the +5 make it a 13. But without the lead, it's kind of hard to do that. So they will hold him at, he'll stay at first base. He will be held on. Here's Bill Pacoda, 3rd baseman. 4-5, and that's a fly to right field, 1 down. Larry Owen, I would normally pinch hit for Larry Owen. In fact, I will against the righty because all his damage is against lefties. So Larry Owen will be lifted. And Jamie Quirk will do the pinch hitting, I do believe. Or will it be Thad Bosley? Let's see. They're going to actually use Thad Bosley as a better hitter. And then Jamie Quirk will stay in the game to catch. So we're going to have Bosley pinch hit here in the 8th. And then Quirk will catch in the 8th. All right, so Bosley will do the pinch hitting. And on the replay, Bosley is hitting 273, 2 homers, and 6 driven in. He hit 279 real world, so he's right on target there. So he's going to pinch hit with Bo Jackson at first and 1 away. It's a 110, and that's a split chance. 1-4 is a single. Anything else he lines to second, he will line to second. Snagged by Mr. Orge, and there's 2 away. So Bosley will be removed, and Quirk will take over as the catcher going forward. That brings up Angel Salazar against Eichhorn. That's a 6-7, and that's a strikeout. Eichhorn struck him out to end the inning. And that's going to be it for Eichhorn. He's going to go 1 inning. They'll set it up for Tom Hinkie in the 9th. So he goes 1 inning, a walk and a strikeout, nothing else for Eichhorn. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, and Kansas City will need a pitcher. Question is who has pitched the least, maybe. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to overdo anybody. Let's see. Quisenberry has pitched 11 games. Gumpert has only pitched 5. And Farr has pitched 14, so I definitely don't want to use Farr. And with the righties coming up, it's right, left, right coming up, so they may go to Dave Gumpert. I don't know. Although he only had 19 innings in the whole season, whereas I'm going to go with Quisenberry. You know what? We're going to go with Quisenberry, try to keep it close. If it was a blowout, I'd use Gumpert. But I think since it's a close game, I'll go with Quisenberry to try to keep it close. Dan Quisenberry on the replay. He's 2-1 with 2 saves, a 2.63 earned run average. His 12th appearance, 13 2/3 innings, 18 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And he'll be facing the top of the order. Well, second in the order, Kelly Gruber. It'll be Gruber, Upshaw, and Bell due up for the Jays. New catcher for the Royals is now Jamie Quirk. So we got a whole new battery in there, Quirk and Quisenberry. Hello, Jeremiah. So here is Gruber. Quisenberry to Gruber, 6-7. It's ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Salazar. He's a 2E16. 2-10. He'll get to it. 2-10 officially is a G1. That's a total of 8, and he is an E16. Shortstop E6. No, he has to avoid the 14. That's what he got last time when he got an error, but the 8 is good. So it is a good play for Salazar, and Gruber is out. Here's Upshaw. That is a 6-4. Left-handed, ground ball third base X. We're looking at Pacoda. He's a 4E37. 4-4, that's going to get through for a base hit. 4 and a 4 is a single. At third base, he's an E37. And this total is an 8. E37. There's a 9, but no 8. So he escapes the error, but it will be a base hit for Willie Upshaw. So he's aboard. He is a threat to run. Quisenberry's a 0 arm, or 0 hold, rather. Quirk is a +1 arm, so it'll be a +1. So they're going to try to get the lead, 3 through 7. Of course, a 9 or a 10, he's out. That's an 8, so he doesn't do either one. He has to hold. So he will hold, and here comes George Bell. Bell doubled his last time up, but was stranded at third base. 2-11, and that's a fly to right field for out number 2. And that takes us to Jesse Barfield. Barfield had that 2-run triple in the 4th. That's been the difference of the game at this point. That's a 2-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to third, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the 9th. Quisenberry did his job. If they happen to tie it, he'll come back out for the bottom of the 9th, but we'll see if they can manage to tie it. They'll have to do it against a very struggling Tom Hinkie. In real world, Hinkie was 0-6 with a 2.49 ERA and a bunch of saves, I'm sure. In the replay, though, Hinkie is really struggling. He is 0-3 and a 9.28 earned run average. He does have 5 saves, 10 2/3 innings pitched, 16 hits, 8 walks, 11 strikeouts. But you still got to go to your horse and hope he can straighten things out. So Tom Hinkie is aboard. Got a 0 hold, so it keeps a -3. And let's see. Coming up for the Royals, it'll be Seitzer, Beniquez, and Tartable. Kind of the heart of the order. So no, I don't think it's going to be any pinch hitting to worry about. So Hinkie, see what he can do. My favorite player as a kid, define kid. Are you talking about like a teenager or a little kid, or if I had to go back to a team, who was around when I was a teenager that I really followed a lot? Um, Good question. Hadn't really thought about it. Willie Mays had retired pretty much by the time I came along to follow baseball, so it wouldn't be Willie Mays for me. As a teenager, who was playing that I really, really liked? I'll have to think on that one, Roger. I'll have to think on that one. I'll have an answer when the game's over, but I'll try to think on it as I play. And think back to my memory of who I really follow. I mean, I followed a lot of players, but were they my favorites? I don't know. I mean, I really liked Tony Gwynn, but I was an adult when he came along. I wasn't really a kid. Well, I was 18 when he came along. So maybe Tony Gwynn, but Cal Ripken, he's certainly up there. That was more when I was almost an adult. If I had to go back to when I was like 9 or 10 or 11 years old, I'd have to think on that a little longer. I used to like Carlton Fisk a lot, that's for sure. Maybe I'll use Carlton Fisk. Maybe that'll be that's the first name that comes to my mind. I wasn't a Red Sox fan. I just liked the way he played the game. All right. Here is Kevin Seitzer. 3-4, and it's a ground ball to short. Easy play for Fernandez, 1 away. Here's Beniquez. He's 0-3. 110, and that is a 1-3 single. Anything else is a line out to short. That's a 4. So he lines it right to Fernandez for out number 2. So Hinkie trying to get a 3-out save. Wow, Roger, you are going back a ways. I'm only 60, so I don't know how that relates to everybody else, but I'm 60. So, yeah, I mean, I barely remember Clemente at the very end of his career before he passed. I remember him sort of. Probably my favorite player of all time, though, is Tony Gwynn. I tell you another one I really liked was Mike Schmidt. He was another one of my favorites when I was growing up, Mike Schmidt. He's probably the one when I was a kid, when I was, in my 11, 12, 13-year-old time frame. He's probably the guy that I remember the most is Mike Schmidt. All right, so here's Tartable with 2 outs, bases empty. 2-8, and that's a single. So Tartable gets the base hit. There's an Omega sign there, but there has to be runner in scoring position with 2 outs for that to take effect. It did not. So Tartable is on, and here's Frank White. Hinkie now trying to finish this thing out. Hold on to this 2-1 lead. It's a 4-7, and that's a 1-9 single. That's a 2. So the ball game continues. It's only 1 star, so Tartable will be held at second base. But we're up to Steve Bye-Bye Balboni against Hinkie. Power against power. Balboni is 0-3, but he can hit the long ball. And chicks dig the long ball, so they say. It's a 1-7. He can also strike out, and that's exactly what he did. And the ball game is over. So Tom Hinkie holds on, gives up 2 hits, but gets the big strikeout at the end when he needs it. And the Kansas City Royals and Toronto Blue Jays play a barn burner 2-1. This is more my style. Get these kind of ball games, 2-1. Quisenberry went his 1 inning, gave up a hit, nothing else. So he certainly did his job. So for Kansas City, they only managed 3 hits in the ball game. One of them was the home run by Larry Owen. The other 2 came in the 9th. That's the only 2 hits they had. Meanwhile, Toronto only had 5 hits, but the two-run triple was the big blow in the 4th inning. That was enough to get him by. So 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for Toronto. 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error for Kansas City. Cerutti, the winner, improves to 2-0. Bud Black, a tough luck loss, drops to 1-3. Tom Hinkie will pick up save number 6. So the 6th save for Tom Hinkie. More importantly, Toronto goes to 19-11, tries to keep pace with those Yankees and Brewers. And Kansas City drops below 500 to 14-15. If we look at left on base real quickly, just to tidy things up, for Kansas City, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left on for Kansas City. And for Toronto, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left on. So there you go. So there it is. Toronto holds off Kansas City. You're welcome, Trent. It was a nice game. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very, very much. Like I said, I love this game versus what happened last time. Remember the last game from yesterday? It was Seattle and Boston. It was 10-6, and it was horrible. It was already 9-4 after 3 innings, and it just runs all over the place. So this is a game. This is a much more my style right here. 2-1 close knit ball game. The only thing that would have been better was not have the DH, but I knew that coming in when I picked this season. I could have picked a National League season, but the only thing is, and actually I play enough of it now where it's almost not bothering me anymore, but I really, really prefer not a non-DH thing. If I ever do another one like this again, it's definitely going to be a National League thing or a season prior to 1973, so I don't have to worry about the DH. Yep, it won't take long to pop this in the computer. Not long at all. So hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic around lunchtime on a Tuesday afternoon. I believe it is, let's see if when you're retired now, I'm lose track of, I know it's a Tuesday, but I'm trying to think of the calendar date. Let's see, the 11th was Friday, so 12/13 was Sunday. It's today the 15th. I guess today's the 15th, right in the middle of the month. So July 15th, the game was played on May the 12th, 1987. Game number 215 is in the books. Kenyon, I could, but I don't have the 68 cards. So, I guess I could get them in some other. I've got 67 and 69, so I never really thought about getting 68. So I really like the non-DH stuff. So if I ever do anything like this again, it will be either a National League, like I'm doing an inside pitch. I'm doing the 77 National League, so I don't have to worry about the DH. But if I do something like this in the future, it will be definitely a non-DH thing, no matter what I do. So, like I said, on the channel coming up tonight, most likely, if I do anything at all tonight, it will be Inside Pitch. I'll do the recap of the month of April in 1977. Give everybody the standings and how they're doing on the board versus how Strat-O-Matic is simulating them. And then we'll get ready for the month of May, and we'll start the game from May the 1st. Those unfamiliar with that project, in 1977 Inside Pitch, I pick one calendar game every day of the season. I pick one of the dates. I pick a game from that date and play it on Inside Pitch. I let the Strat computer sim everything else. Then the game I play, I input in the Strat computer, and they get credit for it by winning the games on the board. That becomes a tiebreaker if the Strat computer puts teams in a tie at the end of the season. I'll go back to the record that they had in Inside Pitch and do it that way. So that's going to do it from here. Thank you for the lively chat. Thank you for tuning in to this ball game. Played it roughly about an hour. I mean, not much more than an hour, which is pretty good. Pretty tidy ball game, 2-1, just the way I like them. Don't always get that, but fortunately was able to get it today. So take care out there. Stay safe. Enjoy your hobby, whatever game you might happen to like, whether it's baseball or something else, and whether it's Strat or something else. Like I always say, play the game you like to play the way you like to play it, and don't worry about anybody else. So if somebody likes to do a certain way, that's them, and kudos to them, but you do your own thing. So that's going to do it from here. Again, final score, Toronto 2, Kansas City 1. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.